Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Robert Schuler. I'm the Director of Public Relations at Melissa's Produce. You guys are in for a treat today. Today you're going to learn everything about hatch chilies and then some. With me is Chef Marco Zapien. He's the executive chef here at Zapien Salsa Grills and Puree here in Pico Rivera. They are known for their Mexican food. This is one of those places, if you only knew, in the last year or so in the Los Angeles Times, they were noted as the best Mexican restaurant, Chile Verde. And I would say many of the items here are probably the best of. But welcome. If this is your first time, let me show of hands. How many people this is their first time here? Great. So now you know how to get here. It's a little tricky, but right off the 5 there, and there you go. So let's talk about what's going on here and what you're going to learn about and everything like that. So I'm just going to do a kind of a brief introduction of what Hatch Chili is all about and what has sparked this food movement for the exciting season of the Hatch Chilies. Hatch Chilies come from Hatch, New Mexico. Hatch, New Mexico, the closest major city in that area is like Las Cruces, or maybe you're more familiar with El Paso in Texas, right over the border into New Mexico, is the agricultural town of Hatch. You can only call it a Hatch chili if it's grown in the Hatch Chili Valley, which is the Mesilla Valley. The river that feeds it in that area there is the Rio Grande. What's unique about Hatch, New Mexico than any other growing area for chilies is that they're at elevation. So most chilies, as we know, are grown at sea level. And domestically, chilies love heat. Any chili loves heat. And so the summertime in particular is the time for our domestic season. Most chilies right now for all of the United States comes a lot out of California or the rest of the United States as well. However, the rest of the year we'll look to warmer parts of the country and the world like Mexico for our fresh chilies. But only during the months of August, September, during the hottest months, do we have the Hatch chili. And I'm going to talk to you about what makes it so special. Not necessarily well, of course, the microclimate that's there at their being elevation, okay, versus a regular chili that's grown at sea level. There's a microclimate in that area. So a typical growing area for a chili at sea level is the daytime temperatures are about 100 degrees, and then at night it only gets down to about 80 degrees. So that's a 20-degree differential. But I noted that Hatch, New Mexico is in elevation at about 5,000 feet above the Rio Grande, where the main water feeder area for that area. At an elevation of 5,000 feet, it does get 100 degrees during the day. However, at night, because of the level, the elevation, it gets down to like 50 degrees during the day. So you're going to have a 50-degree differential between day and night. So what that does to these chilies that makes it so special, it makes them extra thick. And so this is like one of the meatiest of all the chilies. So when you cook with it, you do have to roast off the skin before you use it, like most chilies, whether it's like a poblano or an Anaheim chili, which you always see in the supermarkets. The larger chilies, you have to roast off the skin before you're going to enjoy it in a recipe or chili relleno or however. These actually make the best chili rellenos, but they're only available for a limited time. So what happens is during this time, you'll be able to go to your local supermarket and buy the Hatch chilies. But the thing is that when people buy Hatch chilies, they don't buy just a handful of them like you would jalapenos or serranos. People buy them by the cases. And so you'll see cases like this. And if you do your calculations correct, you want to know when the store is going to do a roasting. Simply by going to our website at melissas.com, you'll see a through Z listing of the retailers throughout the United States that are doing roastings, not just here in Southern California, but a lot are now done in Southern California. And so if you do it right, you'll be able to buy the chilies and get them roasted in front of the store. So we have roastings every weekend for the next 6 weeks. Our first weekend was last week. We're now going into our second weekend. We have roastings on Fridays and Saturdays. And it's a hoot to go to there because you'll learn about so many different recipes that people do with these hatch chilies. So, going on that, you're going to say to yourself, well, what am I going to do with 25 pounds of roasted chilies? How do I eat 25 pounds of roasted chilies? Simply, you're probably not, unless you have a huge family or a fiesta or some event going on. So, what you do with the chilies, after a few days, you have to commit them. And what you do, what I mean by that, is that you put them into Ziploc freezer bags and you put them into the freezer so you can pull them out, on special occasions, birthdays, anniversaries, Christmas time, Hanukkah time, New Year's time, Super Bowl time, and then you'll be able to use those frozen chilies for your recipes. That's how you enjoy hatch chilies for the rest of the year. Because right now, you only have 5 more weeks and then the season is over and that's it. So the key is to know how many cases of hatch chilies to roast and put into your freezer. I've been to these hatch chili roastings. I'm a fan. I usually do 2 cases in my freezer to get through the year, and that's not even enough. But I've had where people bought 6 or 8 cases of hatch chilies to put into their freezers at home. You're going to have to take out a lot of the ice cream cartons for that to happen. In most cases, most people, especially from the Southwest, they know their chili well, and so people have out garage freezers or freezers that you'll be able to put your chili into there. Throughout all of the Southwest, it is known as the New Mexico chili, or what they call the green chili and the red chili. You get the green chili at the beginning of the season, you keep them on the vine longer, they'll turn into red. However, you can only call hatch chilies if they're from Hatch, New Mexico. Now, what also makes them so special? It's the only chili that you can get. Like when you buy chilies, usually the jalapenos are kind of hot, serranos are really hot, and then you've got habaneros and all these other crazy hot chilies that are mind-blowing hot. The neat thing about the hatch chili is that if you're not a heat lover, you can get mild, you can get medium, you can get hot, and you can also get extra hot as well. When I say extra hot, it's like a really hot serrano. So these don't get to the Scoville heat units that are off the charts. But when I say mild, it's more like an Anaheim chili, which is the grandson of this chili, because these kind of look like Anaheim chilies, but they're just not as thick. And again, these chilies only available for 6 weeks. You can get them in mild, medium, hot, and extra hot. Today on the menu, before we get to Chef Marco, are we mainly going to be using milds or mediums on these?
Mild, mediums, and hot. We kind of mixed it up with a lot of different ones.
Okay. We'll note, if anybody has sensitivity to heat or their gums or whatever, and it happens, we'll let you know which ones are going to have the hot ones in there, because we don't want to take anybody by surprise there. But they're not truly hot. If you've had a serrano, in a chili salsa, the salsa that we have there, what heat level would that be?
Oh, that's probably
medium.
Chili? Medium, yes.
Yeah, the salsa that you have right there. That would be considered a medium.
And then some of the recipes, what I did is mixed a little bit of hot and some medium, so that nothing is really too spicy.
Yeah.
So
we're not trying to blow your mind today there. But anyway, this is actually our 15th season of Melissa's doing roastings throughout the country. It started off very small, and it started off from the Southwest, because this is what they do in the Southwest. If you go down to Texas, New Mexico, and parts of Arizona, you may see stores roasting every single day, especially in the Texas and New Mexico area, because of the availability of it, and people buy them by the sacks or they buy them by the case. Our cases are 25 pounds, and then you get them roasted and you put them. There's actually, if you didn't know, hatch chilies is the most celebrated single ingredient food in the United States. So every Labor Day weekend, make your plan to go down to Hatch, New Mexico, which is just fields and fields of Chili's. They actually really don't have much of an infrastructure there. I think there's only one hotel and a couple stores and whatnot. But it becomes the biggest camp out for Hatch Chili's. So everything that you eat at the Hatch Chili Festival Labor Day weekend is, the ice cream has Hatch Chili's. Everything that you eat there, tacos, salsas, chili rellenos, cotton candy, everything you can do with Hatch Chili's. In fact, we also have a book, and I think most of you now have a copy of the book. This is our Hatch Chili cookbook. Actually, the authors here is Chef Ida Rodriguez right over there. For those who haven't now a copy of the book and want to get it signed. But actually, Chef Marco actually included some of his recipes in here as well, because this book has over 150 recipes on what to do with Hatch. And when you look at it, appetizers, there's not, they thought of everything to put it in other than salsa here. Paninis, pizza, soup, casseroles. Towards the end is the dessert section, which is one of my favorite sections. The cookies, the tequila. There's the chili infused, Hatch chili infused tequila, chocolate chip cookies, Hatch peanut brittle, Hatch s'mores. Yes, this Chili's, if you don't know, pairs really good with chocolate. But you're going to be learning a little bit more about that. So, yes, okay. Now, anyway, that's a little bit about Hatch Chili's. I'm now going to turn it over to our speaker today. First of all, let me give you a little background about Chef Marco. I've known Chef Marco for almost 20 years now. He was one of our first food service customers for Melissa's. So anytime you come to the restaurant, it's always Melissa's produce. But he himself, being here at a Mexican grill, has really encompassed the Hatch Chili's for a restaurant outside the Southwest. I don't know anybody who not only puts it on their menu for every day during the season, but also they do a roasting, which is very unique. And I think, and on the release there, the information tells the date. I think it's like September 7th.
September the 7th.
And they're going to be out here like we do roastings at the store. And you can get yours roasted here as well. You just need to get your orders in if you want to get mild, medium, high. They have a special brunch, but every day on the menu here at Zapien Salsa Grill, you can enjoy Hatch Chili's. And also another unique thing that Chef Marcos does every year, and he's been doing this for a long time, probably one of the few restaurants outside the Southwest that do that. He also does cooking classes to the public, just like this. But I asked him, are you going to do the same recipes that you're doing today? Because I wanted him to do what he usually does every year. And this year on August 27th, he's doing one for the public. And he said, I'm going to do totally different recipes. So if you wanted to come and bring your family and friends, then you can see about that as well. Okay, I think I spoke enough. I can't speak enough about this restaurant because I get set up nicely every time I come here, and the horchata just keeps on flowing because it's one of my favorite. But I think everything on the menu is just super delicious. I'm going to turn it over to Chef Marco Zapien, the Zapien Salsa Grill.
Thank you, Robert. I don't know if I have anything else to say. Okay, so everybody has menus, right? I'll tell you a little bit about myself, my background. I am also a corporate chef with Melissa, so I represent Melissa's, and my background comes mostly from sports and entertainment. I was executive chef at Angel Stadium and Dodger Stadium and Staples Center, and I worked in different stadiums and arenas all over the country, and I got to know Melissa's through working at Angel Stadium. Our owners are frequent just about every stadium that I was working with. So I got to know them, and when I made the decision to leave sports and entertainment, they were actually in the process of growing the food service side of the business and getting them into stadiums, and that's where my expertise lied, was working with stadiums and bringing high quality fine dining to the masses, I guess you could say. So that's what my role is with Melissa's, working as a corporate chef and working with executive chefs in local stadiums and some across the country to create new recipes, to how they can use Melissa's products and all of that stuff. But primarily in the restaurant. I think it was somebody here that owned a restaurant. It's a crazy business, and you have to be here all the time and all that stuff. So I'm primarily here. I work closely with Melissa's. We've had a partnership for 15 years now, and almost 20 years. I've got to work with great chefs like Ida, Chef Tom, Mickey's here. We got a big Melissa's contingent here, so that's great. Thank you. But it's all about hatch chilies today. So this time of year, of course, it's hatch chili season, and we're bringing out all of the hatch chili recipes. And it's fun for us as chefs to create new stuff and see what we could come up with to use hatch chili. And a lot of chefs now are using the sweet and spicy, all of that stuff. So it really plays well with desserts, chocolate, like Robert said, you name it. So you guys, everybody has a copy of the menu. You're welcome to, I think we will be sending out the recipes of everything that we do. Cindy will take care of that for me. Yeah, so we'll have exact recipes sent out to you. We're going to do a watermelon and hatch margarita, which is kind of cool. It has a little bit of a kick to it. But just about anything that if you want to make an agua fresca with it, I mean, you can use the same ingredients without tequila. That's fine. We're going to do a salad. It's not listed on your menu. We just figured we better do a salad as well. And I just thought of that yesterday. So I'll do a dressing for you, which is going to be cilantro Caesar, but with hatch. And that's one of our most popular dressings here in the restaurant. We make everything from scratch here in the restaurant. So all of our dressings, all of our sauces, everything that we do is from scratch. The salsa that you have on the table is kind of like our basic salsa that we make for all the customers that come in with our fresh chips. But this time we blended a little bit of hatch into that instead of using jalapenos. We're going to be doing a taco de papa with hatch chilies blended into it. So it has a little bit of a kick, and also a salsa verde that we're making with hatch. So everything is made with hatch. Here come the drinks, so you're welcome to start with that. We're going to do a hatch chile verde. And we spoke about the chile verde in the LA Times. So Barbara is here, who actually wrote the article. Thank you, Barbara. So it's the same recipe. So this recipe that you're going to get was actually in the LA Times as one of the best. So you're going to get a copy of that. So that rim that we have on there, I listed on the recipe as a hatch powder. We're using a little bit of tahini in that as well, just to give it that lemony flavor. But we're going to be doing some enchiladas Suizas, classically made with a little bit of crema in the sauce, with some grilled chicken. Those are really, really fantastic. We're going to do frijoles de la olla. We're just going to mix in some bacon and some hatch chili, and then a green rice where we blended in some hatch into the broth, and then the hatch chili tres leches bread pudding, which is unbelievable. You're going to love it. So we used kind of like the concept of eating a tres leches cake, but made it into a bread pudding, and then we're making a topping as well.